In this lesson, we're going to look at rearranging formulae. So what to do in particular situations where we may have a fraction, a square root, or where the variable appears twice. Rearranging formula is otherwise known as changing the subject of a formula. We want to place the unknown value by itself. So we have an equal sign on an equation where we can add, subtract, multiply, or divide by anything we want, as long as we do it on both sides of the equal sign. Let's have a look. Make B the subject of a formula A equals 5b plus 3 over 4. So A equals 5b plus 3 over 4. We're going to divide by 4 on both sides. So we're looking at this in certain ways. Do we multiply by 3? So no, that's a plus 3. We're going to do the opposite thing. So we're dividing by 4. We want to multiply by 4 with our right hand side and our left hand side. So we end up with 4a is equal to 5b plus 3. That's our first step. Next part, we want to get b on its own. So this constant of plus 3, what's the inverse? Or the opposite, minus 3. So again, 4a minus 3 is equal to 5b. And the last part here, just to get this b on its own, we have 5 times b, so we'll divide by 5 on both sides. I'll just switch them over if you don't mind. It'll be the same thing. There's an equal sign, so you can have them on either side. So b is equal to 4a minus 3 over 5. That's your final answer. For the next few, I don't need to do all these cancellation details. We're doing GCSE, so it should be known by now. Make v the subject of a formula u equals 4v squared plus 5w. Okay, straight in. U minus 5w. So plus 5w, we do the inverse on both sides, equals 4v squared. Our term 4v squared, so we want to divide by 4 on both sides. And then this last little part, we have a square, which we have to leave to last, because it would have affected the 4 as well, in some way. So we end up with v, I'll switch it again if you don't mind, and we have a root of u minus 5w over r4. The third question has a root in there. Be careful with what is actually being covered by that root. m times k is equal to that root n, a little bit at the end there. Again, mk plus 5 on both sides, minus 5 cancels that out. And then lastly, I'll just switch it over just for the visual. We have square. Instead of square root, we have a square on both sides, which cancels out the root. In essence, that's your final answer, but we're going to just make it neat. M squared, k squared. So we just multiply all this out, plus 25. Lastly, when the subject appears twice, it can often be a little bit daunting when you see this question, because P is the subject already, but there is another P. There might even be more than one. This is an example of this type of question. So let's have a look. We have q minus 1 on our denominator. We want to cancel both sides with that, so we multiply both sides by q minus 1. So I put that into brackets initially. And now I can expand. From there, I'll just do a little bit of this just to make sure it's clear. We have this p on the right hand side, so minus p on both sides. So pq minus 2p is equal to, put my little equals there, equal to 1. One last little part. We'll factorize again. We have p in both of these terms. And then we'll finish it off. We're multiplying by q minus 2, so divide both sides by q minus 2. And that's your final answer.